Hi, it's Gina. Welcome to my channel. I have recently had a few comments requesting a card video using some of the papers and elements from the scrapbooking kit that I get each month. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen those unboxing videos. They're a lot of fun and they just contain beautiful papers and elements. But it has been a while since I've made cards. So since this month's kit was just so beautiful and I had gotten those requests, I thought, why not? Let me make some cards. And maybe it will, serve as an example of what you can do with the papers and elements and hopefully offer you some inspiration. Now I've got 5 cards and I'm going to go through each one and just talk about it. I am a slow card maker, so that's why I've kind of stopped filming the process. But if you would like to see the process, then certainly let me know. Leave a comment under this video and I will definitely make a video that shows you how I put it all together. But for now, I'm going to take you through each one, show them to you, and just tell you what I did and how I made them. Let's get started. Okay, here is card number 1. This was the first one that I made. And I just love the image on this blue paper. Actually, there are 2 cards using this blue paper as the top layer. It is on a 5x7 card base, and there are 2 layers of paper, and I distressed them. And all that means is I took something, you can use scissors. I tend to use just a file. I don't know if it's like for feet, I'm not sure. I promise I did not use it on my feet. But this one I just got at the dollar store. And you just take the edge of the paper, and you rub it like this, and it creates just this kind of distressed look. And something about these papers just seemed to scream for it. So I obliged and distressed the edges. This one, like I said, has the 2 layers. Now the back layer, I'm not sure if you can see, let me bring it closer, but very faintly you can see little lines. And I did do a little bit of stenciling on the edge just to give a little subtle effect. As you can see, it's kind of pale. And I used Distressed Oxide Faded Jeans through a stencil, and I just added a flower cluster up at the top, but mostly let the paper just do all of the heavy lifting. The images were just so beautiful, lovely. Now this sentiment came from, I'm not sure, it might even been like Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving kit. I'm not real sure, but that is a nice thing about getting the kits is you certainly don't use all the products every month, especially me, since it's been a while since I've even made cards. So when you do go to make a project or make some cards, you've got lots of resources. So this is not new, but I liked it. And so that's the one I chose for this card. Okay, so that's card number 1. Now card number 2 is on a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 card base. It also has 2 layers of paper and they are distressed edges. As you can see, this is the other one using the blue paper. The images were just beautiful. So you could tell these came from the same piece of paper, but the backgrounds are different. Instead of the orange, I went with the green. So granted, not a lot of it shows, but something I did different on this one is I further distressed the page by adding tears. Okay, so just two little tears, one at the top and the bottom. And then I added some laser cut images, and this did come from the March kit of this flower. This butterfly, however, came from a different kit. The sentiment is something that I stamped, and it may have been the back. Yeah, the back of this piece. Yeah, I just stamped it on the back. And underneath, I have a piece of tea bag. So it kind of, even though it's more of a brown, you can't see but just the very edges of it, and it really kind of went with the green paper in the back and kind of further enhanced that distressed look. So I just stuck it over a piece of that And this is a pretty flat card, as you can see, so it doesn't have high embellishments like the first one did. This is quite thick. I don't know if this is one I would really put in the mail unless you're putting it in a box that you're sending. It is a little bit bulky, whereas this one is quite flat. Okay, so this is card number 2. Card number 3 is quite different. This one is more of what I call an ephemera style card. It doesn't open. I did use it on a card base, and it was on a 5x7 card base, but I really probably should not have wasted a card base. I could have just used any kind of thin piece of cardboard as the backing. I did end up just cutting the other piece off. And this has 2 different parts. So I made a pocket, and it also has an insert. Now, the base has the pocket, and I created a large cluster, which is really just one of the small clusters that I've made on a previous video, mounted on a piece of, I think it was tea stain paper. And I'm not sure if you can see, but it's got just a little bit of a dryer sheet. This was like a used dryer sheet with a little bit of ink on it. And then that just created this large cluster that I used at the bottom. And of course I topped off the top and the bottom and also the very top of the main base with some washi tape, just to kind of add some pizzazz, and it is reflective. So now for the insert, I just picked a beautiful image from one of the pages and cut it down to the size that I wanted. And I added some ruled paper that I had torn and kind of inked around the edges a little bit. And what I'll do is when I figure out what type of card it is, I may put a little stamp. Maybe it says, just saying hello, or happy birthday, or whatever. And then I will put a little note on it. But this just slides right in here like this. And it would fit just right into your envelope because it is also quite flat. So this is card number 3. Card number 4 is just a very simple design. It is on a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 card base, and it has the 2 layers, and they are distressed. And all I did was add 3 tears, and you can see they're much larger. There's like a small, a medium, and then one that was quite large. And then I just added a sentiment, and all I did was layer up both pieces of the same paper that I used on the card base. I inked around the edges just a little bit, and that was that. It's not elaborate, but I thought it came out really beautifully. So that is card number 4. Last but not least, we've got this little card, and it's a 3.5 by 5 inch card base. And the base is just a single layer and made from scraps that I had from where I've been cutting the previous papers. So these are all scraps. This was a scrap I had laying around. Now this little piece that looks like a little wood box, that came from a long ago kit. I have no idea. It could have been a year or 2 ago. I have no idea. But it was a scrap I actually had laying around. And I went through several different designs. For some reason I struggled to figure out what I wanted to do with this little card. But when I saw this little piece that looked like wood, I was like, a flower box. So that's kind of how I ended up with this design. I just grabbed lots of the laser cut items that I've had from previous kits. This big flower was in the March kit, but the rest of these were from a previous kit, as well as the bee. So I came up with a design, and I just glued my little flowers in the flower box, and I added this stamp, and there you go. Although it did take me a little while to come up with what I was going to do, I finally got there. And that's how it is with me. Sometimes it can take me just a long time to really figure out a design that I want to go with. I may come up with several designs, but if they don't feel right, I just kind of keep looking and keep trying until I find one where I'm like, yeah, okay, that's what I want to do. So that is card number 5. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some inspiration on just some ideas of how to put some cards together using the kit. And please leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, or if you would prefer a different format for the card videos. I would love to hear and find out what it is that you most want to see. As with all my videos, you can see close-up pictures at the very end. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.